My name is SRogers, and I'm presenting this presentation called The Brain Functions as One. The brain myth that we're covering today is that one brain hemisphere is stronger than the other based on abilities and personalities. It is believed that those that are creative and love art, their right brain is stronger. Those that are analytical and like math and science, their left brain is the strongest hemisphere. In the 1950s, doctors researched and tried numerous methods to help those who suffered epilepsy and chronic seizures. At the time, they believed the best method for the patients was to split the brain in half, removing the fibers connecting the left and right brain hemispheres together. The doctors studied the patient's cognitive functions after the brain split surgery and discovered interesting discoveries about how the brain's components work together as one. Before I talk about the findings, let's look at the brain. Studying the function of the brain proves that the myth is inaccurate. Both sides of the brain is used equally. The brain is made up of 100 billion neurons. The brain cells link to the neurons, creating networks to communicate and store information. The brain is always working, even in our sleep. There are three main components of the brain to help us learn and retain information. There's one section that filters incoming information, another which memory formation begins, and lastly, where conscious memories are stored in the brain, identifying them for the long-term memory bank. As we can see, the left and right brain both have their certain functions that may be designated just for that hemisphere. However, what I would like to emphasize is that the left brain controls the right side of the body and the right side of the brain controls the left side of the body. This is very interesting because if the myth is true, then it will be a lot of people that suffer from many ailments because one side of the brain is not stronger than the other. Looking deeper into the sections of the brain, as you can see, each location of the brain has a specific function. They may overlap on both hemispheres or reside in either side. Certain tasks are lateralized, yet functional magnetic resonance imaging depicts that both halves of the brain works equally. Let's revisit the 1950s and the interesting findings from the brain split surgery. After splitting the brain in half, studies show that the patient's brain adapted post-surgery by creating two identities and two personalities with incomplete analysis of events. The brain wasn't in full control of itself and was full of invalid answers or assumptions. The brain could not grasp the full concept because it needed the other half to fill in the blanks. A functional brain interprets events in the instant after it happens, insert judgment, meaning, and context. Then, over time, it reconstructs and analyzes more as it becomes a memory. As one can see, both hemispheres need each other to understand concepts in its entirety and coherently. The networks of neurons in the brain hemispheres make the brain understand images, thoughts, and feelings. As a result, the brain's various functions and processes complete the emotion and layers of details one experiences. They both need each other. The brain functions as one.